Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gerza. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. And today I am back from vacation and super excited to share with you the gorgeous Texture Chic Suite from the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. Now, the annual catalog tends to get neglected a little bit once the mini comes out. And so I wanted to kind of refocus our attention on this fantastic book with awesome products that sort of gets shoved to the side as soon as the holiday catalog came out in July. So I'm kind of refocusing on the annual today, and I'm showcasing this gorgeous Texture Chic Suite. Now, this is one that as soon as I saw it, I knew it was my thing. I love sort of shabby chic and grunge and that sort of style of stamping. And so this suite just totally speaks to my heart. I absolutely adore it. So I'm going to show you the products in the suite. I'm also going to show you some products that are not illustrated as part of the suite, but they really coordinate. They're part of the suite, just not shown as part of the suite. And then I'm going to show you 3 projects and some other inspiration. So I've got lots to share with you. I've been away for 2 weeks from my lives, so I'm excited to be back. We had a great time with family. We were in Michigan visiting my brother. We were up at my parents'. We did some fun day trips, just had a really, really great couple of weeks together. So I'm back and ready and raring to go, gearing up, but not only for getting back to Stampin' Up, but also getting back to school. So you may see behind me, my wall color has changed. My husband, bless his heart, painted my studio for me while he was off. We kind of went with a sort of bluey gray, and it kind of looks kind of greeny gray, actually. I'm just looking in the camera here. It looks a little bit green, but it's actually a bluey gray, and I absolutely love it. It's just so calming and serene down here, so it's pretty great. Now let me pull up my video on my MacBook because for 2 weeks I haven't charged my iPad, and it is deader than a doornail. I went to turn it on just before we started, and it ain't happening. So I pulled out my MacBook so that I can see comments, because once I flip the camera, let me just make sure I'm muted on my Chromebook here, because if I turn this on, we're going to get big time feedback. There we go. All right, let's see who is here. Hi, Tracy. Are you guys back to school yet? I have a feeling you might be. Hi, Betty. Yep, have fun at puppy school. I met your puppies without you as part of our adventures over the past couple of weeks. Who else is here? Hi, Laura. Hi, Joyce. This isn't the replay. This is live, Joyce. You're with me live. Welcome. Hi, Penny. Hi, Sue. Hi, Louise. All right. I am happy to be back. All right. Hi, Laura. Hi, Joyce. All right. I'm going to flip the camera and we're going to get to it. I know. I was sorry I missed you. I didn't know you were away. But I had a little chat with Jody. It was nice. And we had a lovely time in Dover. So it was great. We had a great little... We had lunch. We had Lake Erie perch, of course, for lunch. So it was really good. Anyway, I'm going to flip the camera and we are going to get to it. Okay. Here we go. It's been so long. I almost hit finish. No, we want to hit flip. There we go. Flip the camera. Flip the phone. Get it centered. And we should be good to go. Are you going to sag on me a little bit? Let's see if we can tighten that up. All right, there we go. We'll just push this up just a touch, and that should work. All right, I'm really hoping that, see, this thing doesn't scroll comments the same way that my iPad does. So I might have to keep scrolling to see what you guys are saying to me. Oh, you had time change. Yes, Joyce. Hi, Pam from North Carolina. Thanks for sharing. All right, so we are, as I said, heading back into the annual catalog for a little reminder that this book is still awesome, and we've really only had it since May, so it's still pretty new. I don't know about you, but I got a whole lot of product that I ordered from this catalog that I haven't even touched yet. So we are going to be playing with the Texture Chic Suite today. And it is absolutely fantastic. So many possibilities with this suite. That's what I love, versatility. Just looking at the stamp set here, you've got summer, you've got fall, you've got spring, you've got winter, you've got all of your seasons covered and plenty of occasions. So just a fantastic suite. So let me get this out of the way and show you the products up close and personal. So this is the stamp set, part of the bundle. Again, beautiful imagery. We have outline and solid stamps for the leaves and the flowers and the shells, which make it easy. You don't even have to color them, right? You can just stamp, so easy peasy. Some lovely sentiments with fun fonts and 2 spatter stamps. Just a little happy about that. And then, of course, we have the dies. So we have the dies that cut out the stamped images, but then we have a ton of dies that cut shapes. So we've got detailed dies for layering over the solid ones. You'll see the leaves in action. Same thing for the flowers. The shells work the same way. And then we have some snowflakes. We have this awesome sort of distressed mesh die. And then some shells and some leaves. Just so many possibilities with these dies. So that's the bundle. And then, of course, we have this stunning Specialty Designer Series paper. So every sheet in the pack of 12 has metallic gold on it. So one side is the metallic gold. So we've got some distressed polka dots, sort of a mosaic pattern, a plaid, some hexagons, a stripe, and then this, again, it looks almost like tile, distressed tile. So that's the metallic side, but then when we flip them over, we have fantastic seasonal patterns. So we've got snowflakes, we've got like a distressed barnboard, we've got our fall leaves, some spring flowers, some beautiful, love this shabby chic flower with the barnboard in behind, and then we've got the seashells. So just gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And then, as part of the suite as well, we have my new favorite, distressed gold specialty paper. So this comes in a pack of 2. You get 2 12 by 12 sheets, and it works so perfectly with this this designer series paper. I've actually used this a ton with all kinds of different suites, but it's just gorgeous. So that is the distressed gold designer series paper. And then I want to mention to you that we also have these cards and envelopes that coordinate. So these are the 4.5 by 6.5 inch cards and envelope, or 4 1/4, that are designed to work with the Memories and More cards. So this is the pattern on all of the cards, just a great neutral distressed background and the gold foiling on the envelopes. And then we have, now this is just half a pack, okay? I've split this in half because I'm going to be working with it. And I always like to use half a pack for classes and whatnot. So we have 2 sheets of stickers, okay, with sentiments and leaves and all sorts of things there. And then we've got some fantastic 4 by 6 cards. Some are title cards and others are just patterns. So if you are a scrapbooker, especially if you like pocket page scrapbooking like I do, so many possibilities with this Memories and More card pack. I think I'm going to have to do some scrapbooking of our vacation adventures with this set. So lots of possibilities there. And then of course we have the 3 by 4 cards. Just beautiful. All of them are double-sided. So we've got, often there's a solid on one side and then some kind of sentiment or an image on the other. So the solid ones can certainly be used for journaling or for, layering behind sentiments or photos. Best day ever. Love that. Congratulations. Some seashells. Oh, didn't show the back of that one. Life is better with you. Love, love, love these cards. So this is a fantastic, again, super versatile card set. Perfect for scrapbooking. You can even do like a whole year's worth with this card set because it's got something for every season. So that is the Memories and More cards and a card pack and cards and envelopes. So those are not showed in the catalog with the suite, but they are included with the Memories and More. I gotta find them because I didn't mark them. I should have. Scrapbooking 136. So there they are. They're on page 136. So there's the cards and envelopes, and there is the Memories and More pack. And I'm betting you didn't even know those were in the catalog because they're so easy to miss. But they coordinate with the suite and make for really quick and easy cards or beautiful scrapbook pages. Okay. All right. Wow, am I ever crooked here? Let's see if we can get things sorted out. See if we can straighten this out. Why is this so crooked? Because my camera's crooked. Let's straighten the camera. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I think that's going to be better. Okay. All right, so we are going to do some stamping. So our first card we're going to make is one I posted earlier today. And it is, well, a beautiful beachy kind of summer themed card, or could even be used for a beach vacation. I'm just going to quick look and see who else has joined us. Hi, Sue. Hi, Laura. Hi, Claire. All right. I have to keep looking over at my MacBook because as I said off the top, in case you missed it, my iPad is dead. It's been unplugged for 2 weeks, and I totally forgot to plug it in today. So it's charging now. It may come to life yet while we are doing our thing, but for now, I am working from my MacBook. All right, so we have to start a 4 by 6 inch piece of this beautiful DSP. So it's got this sort of distressed polka dots on one side and then the seashells on the back. We also have a 4 1/4 by 11 inch Petal Pink card base. It's scored at 5.5 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold that to start. Crisp it up with my bone folder here. And then we're going to do a trick which I love whenever I have paper that I like both sides of. I do something called the rip and flip technique. So basically, I'm just going to take and rip my paper, not quite in half, sort of in thirds. So my polka dots are going to go at the top, and then I'm going to layer the seashells on the bottom. Isn't that a fun, easy trick? I love it. So we are going to go ahead and layer those. Now we're not going to stick this right onto our card base just yet, but we're going to use our card base as a guide to get this exactly the size we want it. So I'm going to go ahead and center this piece on 3 sides. So I've got an equal border on top, bottom, and left side. And then I'm going to take and add a little bit of adhesive to the back of my other piece. And of course I'm flipping it over because I want to see the shells. And I'm matching up the edges. And again, making sure I have a nice even border. And that will give me my background piece. Okay, so we'll set that aside. We're going to build our card and then we will glue that on at the end. All right, so to start, I have this die cut. So this is that sort of distressed mesh or netting. It's just cut from basic white cardstock, and I put some adhesive sheets on the back. Those things are a godsend when you are gluing this kind of thing down, because it would be a big time pain in the bum to try and get your glue onto this really detailed die cut. So I'm just going to peel my adhesive sheet backing off. I got most of my little bits out here. I'll just get rid of the last couple. And then we're going to stick this down. And I thought it looked a little bit like netting, like a fishnet. So I thought it worked really well with this sort of beachy theme that I've got going. So I'm just going to trim off that little bit that's hanging off the end. Look how pretty the backside is too. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I know. It's hard to decide, right? When you've got beautiful paper. This is why I like this trick, because it shows both sides. All right. Okay, so here we go. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Okay, so now before we do anything else, we're going to actually no, we're gonna do a little bit of stamping. Then we'll finish this. So I have 2 just blank shells that I've cut, one from Petal Pink and one from Gray Granite cardstock. And we're going to just stamp our detailed shell image. I'm going to stamp in the Gray Granite. So I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp my Gray Granite one first. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, just like that. Okay, and then without re-inking, I'm going to stamp on my Petal Pink one because I want it to be a little bit lighter. Okay. And while I have that out, we're going to stamp our sentiment. I have my Thinking of You stamp. And this label is actually cut from the Natural Prints dies, which is also in the annual catalog. So I'm just going to ink up my Thinking of You and stamp it on this beautiful label. And then we're going to bring in a spatter stamp with a little bit of Petal Pink. So we've got our Petal Pink ink. And we're going to just add a little bit of a spatter on either side of our label here, just to add a little bit of texture. Uh-oh, we're frozen. I hope not everybody's frozen. Is everybody frozen? I hope not. Okay, you're better now, Joyce. I'm hoping we're okay. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and arrange all of our little bits and bobs here. So I have some of the detailed shells. Now this one's actually designed so it can layer over top of the solid shell as well, but I like just the detail of that as well. So we are going to use it just all on its own. We're going to start with our gray granite shell. So I'm going to pop that one on right about there. And then we're going to add our gold, distressed gold. So this is cut from that beautiful distressed gold paper. And I'm going to peel off my backing. Again, I've used some adhesive sheets just for ease of sticking these guys down. Okay, and then this little shell is actually going to get adhered to the back of my label. So it's going to actually be peeking out from behind the label. So we're not going to stick that one on just yet. We are going to add our Petal Pink shell. You'll notice all of these are flat. I am just going to pop up my label on this one. And then we'll add our smaller gold shell. Oh, Laura, you got it to work if you went in and out. Okay, that's good. Then that suggests to me that it's a Facebook issue. Sometimes Facebook doesn't behave the way we might like it to. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back corner of my label here, and I'm just going to add my little shell peeking out from behind. So that's going to go on like that. But before we do, we're going to add a little bit of linen thread. So I'm just going to take and fold this in half and trim it off my roll. Then we're going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to add a glue dot to the back of my panel here, right about where sort of the join is, maybe just a little bit below. By the join, I mean where my sheets overlap, where I ripped. Okay, so we're going to put that on. We're going to come all the way across. And then we're going to add another glue dot. Come on. And we're going to stick this down. All right, I'm going to see if I can get my iPad going here. I think it's up and running. And I like the way the comments scroll better on my iPad so I can see what you guys are saying. The MacBook I have to actually like physically scroll, which is kind of annoying. So let's close that. There we go. And then I can see what everybody's doing. All right. There we go. Okay, so there we go. We've got our linen thread on. Now we're ready to go ahead and glue this onto our card base. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of seal to the back of my panel here. And we're going to pop this on, centered on our Petal Pink card base. Okay, and then we're going to add our label. It's going to get popped up. It's going to overlap our linen thread. So we'll add a couple of dimensionals. All right, I hope you guys are all still there. Can you give me a heads up and let me know that you're still here, you guys? Because there's not a whole lot happening in the comments, and I'm worried that my feed is not working. So just let me know if you're still here. All right, so we're going to pop this on. Maybe I'm talking to myself. That's okay. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. And then we're going to make a cute little double bow here. So I'm going to add, just fold over my linen thread and tie me a double bow. Oopsie. There we go. And I always like the loops. When I do a double bow, I like my loops to be not the same size. I think that looks better. It's just a matter of preference. Hi, Martine. Okay, it must be working. We got new people joining, so that's a good sign. I was having some issues. Not sure whether everybody was still here. Okay, Holly had to go in and out as well. So yeah, that's a Facebook thing. So if you're having problems, try exiting and coming back, and it should work for you. That's happened to me before when I've been watching people on live. Okay, so the last touch is some opals. Now I gotta grab them because I forgot to put them in my bag here. So we are going to use some of just our regular opals. These aren't the in-color opals. These are these gorgeous ones that are kind of iridescent. And we're going to add a couple of these to our card. Okay, Louise, you're good. All right, that's good. Martine, you're here. Excellent. Very glad you're here. So I'm just going to tuck a couple of these little opals in. To me, they look like pearls. I just love these. Was so happy when they carried over. Let's get a small one. Is that a small one? Yeah. We'll add one of these up here. I just love the shimmer and sparkle of these opals. They just make me happy. And since our card is beachy, we need to have pearls, right? Or simulated pearls. All right, so there is our finished card. Now I'll just quick show you what I did on the inside of my sample here. I just added a layer of white and then just stamped a few shells just to add a little bit of texture, some spatters to the inside of my card. All right, so there we go. That is number 1 done. Set that aside. And we're gonna bring in number 2. Number 2 is this Shabby Chic one. And I absolutely love this card. Like, I kind of want to just keep it. Have it sitting on my desk to look at because it makes me happy. But we make cards to give them, right? So I will eventually give it. Maybe not for a little while. All right, so I'm going to pull it on my bits here. And I've done a bunch of stuff ahead of time, just in the interest of time. So we are going to start with that gorgeous floral. It's sort of like a barnboard with a floral and spatter superimposed. I absolutely love this pattern. And then this is actually the other side of this. Okay, so when I cut this, where does it go? Oh, maybe this is from a different section of it. But anyway, so this is what's left over when you cut 2 sheets from 12 by 12. Okay, that's what happens. So this piece we're going to use as our vertical element here. Okay, and then I have another one of these gorgeous mesh die cuts, but this time cut from the Distressed Gold, and isn't that fantastic? I love that. So I'm going to just kind of put it on an angle, and I'm going to cut it kind of in half. Okay, and what we're going to do, this is going to make this a little bit bigger so that we can have it kind of peek out from behind our vertical element. So just going to put a little bit of seal on the edges of my DSP here, and I'm going to tuck that one there, and that one's going to kind of come down here like that. Okay, so that's just a hot little tip for making your die cut bigger, right? It looks bigger than it is. So now we can go ahead and stick this onto our card base. So I'm going to add just a little bit more adhesive. And we're going to stick this on. Now I'm going to put it on probably, I don't know, 1.25 inches. It depends how much of this you have showing. I have a fair bit showing here, so this is going to be over a little bit further than it was on my sample, maybe by 1/4 inch, but that's okay. All right. Now, I didn't put adhesive on the back of these. If you are worried about that flopping, you can certainly tuck it in so there's not as much coming out. Or once you have all of your other elements on, you can certainly add adhesive strategically to stick that down. But I am not going to take time to put liquid glue on the back of that thing. I'll tell you right now. I do not have the patience for that. All right, so I have a couple of flowers that I've already stamped and die cut. I have one that I have just stamped with the outline stamp, and I'm going to show you what I did to add the additional color here. So I need my Petal Pink ink, and my voice is cutting out. I don't know what's going on. Facebook is not my friend today. Doesn't it know that I've been gone for weeks and I need to be able to do my live without hassles? You'd like to think they knew that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take my solid flower stamp. I'm going to stamp it off once, and then I'm going to stamp it over, assuming I can get this, there we go, over top of my outline. Okay, so I stamped off just so that I would get a lighter shade. Then I'm going to come in with my spatter stamp. I'm going to stamp just a little bit, full strength. And then I'm going to come in and stamped off with my soft suede. So I'm going to stamp off and add just a touch stamped off. Okay, and I just love that subtle texture that it adds, and if you want you can add a little more, whatever. Okay, so this one, when I did this die cut, I just did the die cut. I did my distressing, adding my solid image and my spatter, and then I didn't do the outline. Okay, the outline is the gold, so that's just a little aside there. All right, so now it's really just a matter of assembly. So we are going to take these leaves, which are die cut from, it's actually from the snowflake pattern DSP, believe it or not. But I love the sort of texture that it gives when you do it as a die cut. So we're just going to add a couple of these little guys behind our flower. Make sure they stick. So that one's going to go up here. Then we have another one. We're going to add a couple more leaves too. So again, a little bit of adhesive and a couple more leaves. That one's going to kind of go down here. And then this one is actually going to tuck in behind my sentiment. Okay, but right now we are going to stamp our sentiment in soft suede ink and add a little bit of texture. So this banner is cut from Crumb Cake cardstock using the Stylish Shapes dies. So we're going to stamp our thanks. Okay, then we're going to add a little bit of spatter. Again, in the soft suede, I'm going to stamp off, just add a little bit of texture here and there. And we'll close that up. Martine, people have been finding that if you exit and come back, that fixes your issues. I don't know if that will work for you, but that is what seems to be helping other people. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit more texture with some Petal Pink ink. Okay, super easy. Not really a wrong way to do this, to be honest. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere my flower with the gold in behind my banner. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive right here. And we're going to tuck this in just like that. Okay, so that's going to go on right about there. Now these guys are going to get, oh, I almost forgot. We have these cute little gold, distressed gold flowers that we're going to add as well. So this one's going to kind of go up here. We're going to stick this guy on. I've got the adhesive sheets on here, so that makes it really easy. And then this guy is going to go way down here, like that. All right, now we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of our stamped flowers. So we'll go 1, 2, and we'll pop this guy up here. I don't want to completely cover up this flower, this gold flower, so we'll kind of put it that way. I'm doing it a little bit differently than I did on my sample. But that's okay. We're allowed to switch it up, right? We'll do that one that way. So we'll go 1 and 2. We'll pop this on right about there. And then this one is going to overlap and extend that way. So we're going to add a couple more dimensionals. Get rid of our backings. And we're going to pop this on right about there, and hopefully straight. Okay, then we can go ahead and layer this onto our card base. So we have here a Crumb Cake card base. It is 5.5 by 8.5 inches, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we'll fold that in half along our score line. We're going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back of our designer paper. And then we're going to pop this onto our card base. Easy peasy. And there we go. All right, now for this one, I added a little bit of bling with some champagne rhinestones. They've kind of got a pinky sort of rose gold look to them, which is just perfect on this card. So I'm just going to add a couple of these little guys for some bling. And one up here, and there we go. Super quick and easy. You like that one? I hope you do. I hope you're still there. I'm not sure what's happening. The last comment I had was from Martine saying I was frozen, so I hope I'm still live. It says I'm live, so I'm hoping Facebook isn't lying to me. All right, let's put this away, and we are going to pull out our last card. So this last one is a fun fold that I posted yesterday. Just learned how to do this fold, and I thought I would share it with you. So this is a double floating panel gatefold card. How's that for a mouthful? But it is a super easy fun fold that has a lot of wow, but it's not super hard. So the belly band slides off. Okay, and then this opens out, and these panels open out as well. So if you can see, I'll stand that under the camera there. Oh, you're not frozen. Oh, good. Thank you, Flo. That makes me happy. Okay, I'm glad I'm not. So Facebook isn't lying. That's good. So this one, if you can see, when you look down from the top, we have these two panels that kind of look like they're floating when you look at it from the front. Okay, so these kind of open out. It's really hard for me to show it when it's not standing up. But they open out like this, so you can have this cute little sort of gatefold look. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a really, really easy fun fold. Like, I was shocked at how easy it was. So to start, I know it looks like I've got about 1 million pieces in here, but really it's because I've got all this stuff for my belly band, right? It's not really this involved. Here we go. This is all we need. So we're going to start with a 5.5 by 7 inch panel. So this is going to form our card base, the background, okay? And I've scored it at 1/2 inch and 1.5 on each end. So 1/2 and 1.5, and then I rotated it 1/2 and 1.5 again. Okay, so that's with the long side at the top. All right, so then these innermost score lines on both ends I'm going to fold inwards. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. Okay, you want to burnish these really, really well. You really want these to lay nice and flat, or as flat as you can possibly get them, so that they'll still fit in your envelope. Okay, so we've done those 2 innermost folds. Now we still have these outer score lines. They are going to fold back. Okay, so again, I'm just going to burnish that super well with my bone folder. Okay, so that is going to form sort of the basis of our card. Okay, all right, we're going to set that aside for a minute. And then I'm going to pull in some cardstock and some DSP. So I have some strips here. This is Evening Evergreen cardstock, by the way. It's one of the coordinating colors with this designer paper pack. So I have 2 pieces that are cut to 2 by 5.5 inches. Okay. And then I have 2 that are cut to 1.5 by 5.25. Okay. So they're a little bit narrower and a little bit shorter. All right. Then I have my designer paper. So you're going to want whatever you put in the background to be a little bit less busy, okay? Whatever you put in the foreground on these smaller pieces can be your wow, okay? It can be lots of pattern, lots of color, all right? So I'm going to layer, these pieces are cut to 1 3/4 by 5.25. So they are going to get layered onto my evergreen pieces just like that. So let's do that right now. Where did my glue go? There it is. So we're going to add just a little bit of glue here. And pop this on. You will have an equal border all the way around. It should be about 1/8 of an inch. So you just want to make sure you get that centered. Same thing on the other. Oh, you found me again. All right. Thanks, Martine. I'm glad you found me. Yeah, a lot of people were finding that it was like it was skipping or freezing, but if you like went out and came back, it was fine. All right, so there are our 2 panels, okay, the larger ones. Then I have the 2 smaller cardstock panels. Again, these are 1.5 by 5.25. And then I have my 2 DSP strips that are 1.25 by 5. So they are going to get layered like that. So again, I didn't, on my background, I didn't use any of the gold foil patterns. I used all of the sort of seasonal patterns. I know it's crying to cover up that gold foil, but you get lots of gold foil on the belly band. Don't worry. I haven't completely lost my senses. All right, let's add a little bit more glue. And we'll stick this guy down. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, so there are our 2 smaller panels. Now, let's go back to our card base, and we're going to bring in our 2 larger panels once again. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then I'm going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to take this left panel. So this is folded in, right? It's folded flat. So this left panel has this little flap here. I'm going to put adhesive on that flap. And then I'm going to take this DSP panel, and I'm going to line it up so it's flush at the bottom, flush with the left side, and it will automatically be flush with the top because it's the same length. Okay, so we're going to put some adhesive. You can use liquid glue for this. I just like my snail, or seal, not snail. I hated snail. Love seal. So we're going to go ahead and stick this on. I'm just lining up the bottom and the left side so they're flush. Okay, and that will give you your moving panel. All right. So this time, for this piece, we're going to do the same thing to start. We are going to add our adhesive, but this time, because I want to make sure my gatefold meets in the middle, and sometimes our measurements are not quite perfect, I'm going to butt the left side of this up with the right side of the panel I just glued down. And that will make sure that my card meets in the middle. Again, I'm flush at the bottom, making sure everything's nice and straight and sticking it down. Okay, so that is our first floating panel. Easy, right? How easy was that? Okay, now we have to add a mechanism for our second floating panel. So as you can see here, my second floating panel, I used basic white cardstock. And you may be thinking, why would she use basic white when everything else is evening evergreen? Well, I'll tell you, when I designed my prototype for this, I used the same color cardstock as I had used on my base. And I found it just made the card so thick and bulky. It was just way too thick. Okay, so basic white is a lighter weight cardstock, and it just works better for this. Okay, so I have my two pieces of basic white. They are 1.5 inches by 4.5. Okay, so I have two pieces. They are scored at every 1/2 inch, so 1.5. So I've got a score line at 1/2 and at 1 inch on both pieces. Okay, so when we fold these, we're going to make Zs. So we're going to do one and then fold it back. Okay, so when I hold this up, there's our Z. Okay, so that's one. And again, we want to burnish really, really well so that this lies as flat as possible. Do the same thing with the other one. So 1 and 2, burnish, burnish, burnish. Okay, now this is a really important point. Okay, we want to make sure that our two pieces, our two Zs, are mirror image. Okay, so this is an actual Z, this is a backwards Z. The one that's on the left is going to be backwards, the one that's on the right is going to be right side out. The reason for that is we are going to use this as our opening mechanism. And when we open, we want this to open this way. Okay, if I do it the other way, it won't open this way, it'll open towards the inside of my card, which we don't want. Okay, so I've got this piece, it's going to go on here. Okay, I'm making sure that it's opening the way I want it to. So I'm going to flip it over and add some adhesive to the back side. Okay, I've got it flipped back around, making sure it's opening the way I need it to, sticky on the back. And I'm going to glue this on, so I'm about 1/8 of an inch, so the same width border that I have here, up from the bottom and in from the edge. Okay, so we're right about there. Okay, and again, it's opening outwards. That's what we want. Okay, we're going to take our second one. This one is going to open the opposite way. So when we put this on here, we want it to open out this way. So again, I'm going to flip it over, add my glue to the back, bring it back. My glue's on the back, it's stuck to my finger. Okay, it's going to go open out this way. So once again, we're going to glue this. So we have about 1/8 of an inch border in from the bottom of the DSP and from the right edge of the DSP. Okay, so again, if I check this, yep, they both open the way I want them to. Okay, then it's really just a matter of adding our two panels. So I'm going to add some adhesive to the top of my little mechanism here. And this time, I'm going to glue this on, again, flush with the bottom edge of the card base. Okay, not the DSP, but the card base. So I'm going to line this up so that it's centered and straight and adhere it. And that is going to open like that. Okay, same thing on the other side. So add my adhesive. Line this up flush with the bottom edge of my card base. Centered and straight. And adhere it. And there we go. Is that not the easiest, coolest thing to make? Like, they're so easy. All right, so that's my card base. Now for the inside, this piece is cut to 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. This card, finished card, is 4 inches wide. It's a 1/4 inch narrower than a standard card. So that is going to get glued in there. We'll go ahead and do that. You certainly could stamp your greeting or add some stamped images if you'd like to the inside of your card. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down so that you can see what it'll look like once it's all done. All right, so there is our finished card base. Super, super simple. Now we're going to make our belly band. So our belly band is, I've used soft succulent just for some contrast against the dark evergreen. This is 8.5 by 1.25 inches. Okay, so I'm going to start in the middle of my card. So right about there. Okay, I'm just going to take and wrap my strip around my card. You're going to see there's going to be about 1/4 inch overlap. That's about what you should have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue to the end of my strip here. And I'm going to line this up. I find it easiest to do this when I'm holding the card. I don't know why, but we're going to line this up and stick her down. Okay, so there is my belly band. Now, what I like to do once I've got it kind of secured is slide it off and just crisp up those folds where I wrapped it. Okay, so that is my belly band. Now, on my sample, I kept my belly band plain, but I decided it looks too plain. So we're going to add a little bit of texture to it with this leaf stamp. So I'm going to take my Evening Evergreen ink. I'm going to ink up, and then I'm going to stamp off. And I'm just going to add a couple of really subtle little leaves here. We're not going to see very much of this, at least on the front, because our belly band or our focal image is going to cover most of it. But on the back, we'll certainly see more. And it's nice to have just a little bit of texture. Whoops, did that one full strength. That's okay. We'll balance it out with another full strength one. When you screw up, you make it look like you meant to. You see? I shouldn't be talking and stamping at the same time. It's dangerous. All right, so we are going to slide this back onto our card base. Now, I always like my seam where my ends overlap to be in the middle on the front. And that way I can hide it. Come on you go. There you go. I can hide it with my focal image. And my belly band just a smidge too snug on this one. That's okay. All right, so there we go. We're back on our card. And then I have all sorts of little bits and bobs here that we are going to layer to make our focal image. Okay, so I have some solid leaves that I just die cut from various shades of cardstock that I pulled from the DSP. So we've got Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen, Mango Melody, and Soft Suede. I'm going to bring in my spatter stamp because I'm going to need that. And we are going to stamp with the spatter stamp on our leaves just to add a bit of texture. So I'm using some soft suede ink, and we're just going to kind of do one of these. No biggie. Really quick, and I'm not really worrying much about making sure it's perfect. Okay, super quick and easy. And then we're going to take these beautiful distress gold die cuts, and you're going to see that these are going to layer just perfectly over top of our solid leaves. Okay, so again, I put some adhesive sheets on the back for quick and easy adhering. So we'll stick these on. One goes on each leaf, and you don't really need to worry too much about getting this totally perfectly aligned. It kind of fits with the distressed kind of vibe of this card if they aren't perfect. So we'll just get rid of our backings. You guys are really quiet again. I hope everybody's there. I see there's people watching. It says there are people watching, but I hope you're still there. Maybe a bunch of people gave up on the lousy feed that we were having. That's what replays are for, right? Oh, somebody's here. I saw a heart. Thank you. What was I going to say? See, I cannot sustain a train of thought right now. I'm going to be in big trouble when school starts if I can't get my act together. Being on vacation, my brain has gone into like dormant mode. I got to kickstart it again. Try to do some puzzles and whatnot to get my brain moving, because Lord knows when school starts, I'm going to have be firing on all cylinders. All right, so there are our leaves. I also have some little sprigs. These are cut or punched actually using the bow punch. So I used some craft cardstock and some Mango Melody cardstock. And then I have a couple of stitch circles. These are cut using the Stylish Shapes die. So this is Evening Evergreen and Basic White. And then I have a Distress Gold decorative circle punched with a decorative circle punch. All right, so we're going to stamp our sentiment first. Where did I put it? There it is. Oh, yeah, you're having a hard time, eh, Holly? I'm sorry about that. Sometimes Facebook is not my friend, I gotta say. It's really annoying sometimes. So I stamped my Sentiment in Evening Evergreen, and I'm just going to bring in, I've still got this spatter stamp here, so I'm just going to add a couple little spatters to that just because it was sitting here and calling to me. So there you go. So we're going to go ahead and stick this down. Now this I wouldn't normally use adhesive sheets on the back of a circle like this, but this white cardstock, I cut the circle from a piece that already had adhesive sheets on it. It was just a little bit of scrap, so I figured why not. So we'll go ahead and center that. Doesn't that look like a flower when you center that on there? All right, then we are going to build our arrangement here. So it's really just a matter of adding some sprigs and some leaves and some of these little, I don't know what these are, little buds, I guess. So it's really just a matter of adding some adhesive to the back and building our arrangement. So there's that. We'll add, I'm going to trim this off. We don't need all of this. We'll add this little guy. We'll add one of these guys up here. Is it going to stick? Nope. Need a bit more glue. There we go. We'll pop this on. Thanks for sticking with me, Holly. I know it's frustrating when the stream keeps getting interrupted. There's nothing worse than trying to listen to somebody who keeps stopping and starting. Not my fault, I'm sorry. All right, let's add this one to the back of this. I'll add a bit of glue here. And we're going to add one of these little guys. Well, let's do all our leaves first, then we'll add the other bits. So we'll add our mango up here and our evergreen kind of down here. And then we'll add one of these little spriggies in the middle, I think. We'll kind of do that. And then we'll add a couple of these little buds, for lack of a better word. I don't know what they are. They're like little seed pods. Let's say they're seed pods. It's fall, right? Sure, that works for me. They'll be seed pods. There we go. I just decided. And this guy came off, so we need a little bit more glue here. Just stick him down. There we go. All right, so there we go. How easy was that? Now this is all going to get layered on an Evening Evergreen circle, and we're going to pop it up. So I'm going to add some dimensionals. I know, Holly, sometimes Facebook sometimes it's great. Other times I want to just smash my computer. It's very frustrating sometimes when you can't get it to do what you want it to do, or when they change things without you knowing, and suddenly the way you used to do things isn't the way it works anymore. All right, so there is our focal image. We're going to go ahead and glue that onto our belly band just with a couple of, actually, I'm not going to use dimensionals for this one because, again, we've already got lots of layers here, and we don't want it to be so thick that we can't get it into an envelope. So we're just going to center this on our belly band and stick that down. Make sure everything still moves. Yep, we're still good. And then the last little touch is just a little linen thread bow. I'm just going to do a single bow here. So quickie, there we go. And we're gonna trim off our tails. And this one, I think I'm actually gonna put this here. I kind of put it where there was a sprig. I kind of liked that look. And on this one, I had my sprig on the other side. So we're just gonna change it a bit. So we'll add a little glue booger here and stick our knot of our bow in there, just like that. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty fall card. I know so many people that have fall birthdays, so I love having some fall birthday cards on hand. All right, let me show you a couple more. Actually, let me bring back all of these designs from today, and then I'm going to show you a couple more ideas. Okay, so there are our 3 projects for today. And then, hi Julie, it's good to be back again. Yes. It is. All right. So let me show you a couple more ideas. Remember how I said this is super versatile, so we've got multi-season. So here's a Christmas card idea for you using that beautiful snowflake pattern. Again, there's that mesh die cut with some die cut snowflakes from the die set. Here's another fall idea. I love this fall card. So I was really trying to go for something that was sort of not expected for fall. So I went with a Blushing Bride and Blackberry Bliss color combo, and brought in some of the rose gold foil, and I just love the look of this one. And then for a total contrast, I wanted to show how great the stamp set is, and do something super simple. So I did a little bit of masking here and some ink blending. Like, it doesn't get any simpler than this. It's literally, well, I could have just done one layer, I guess, but I did add a couple of layers on underneath my focal image here, but just masked it off, blended, stamped some snowflakes, and added a sentiment. Oh, and a little bit of the pearl basic pearl effects, which are just so much fun. And then here are a couple of ideas from swaps that I received. So here is one. Love the sort of beachy kind of desert vibe going on here, and the fact that they stamped the sentiment on the ribbon. I think that's a fantastic idea. And then one more, super pretty, just a little hint of the DSP here, but lots going on and some really fantastic textures. So there you go. Lots of ideas with the Texture Chic Suite. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm so happy to be back. Thank you for hanging with me despite Facebook working against me. I've had a great time showing you these projects, and I will see you again next week for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. Bye for now.